All right, people, big up on yourself. Massive, massive respect again and always. Really, really appreciate it. So I'm going to speak about Michail Antonio and Trivante Stewart. So welcome back, people, to MG Sports TV. Thank you very much again for tuning in. Really, really appreciate you, people. So please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Hope you guys are safe in the bad, bad weather. Specifically those who are in Jamaica. I pray and hope you and your family will be safe during this season. So let's get to the football. Michail Antonio, according to football surrounding Michail Antonio and Trivante Stewart. So, Michail Antonio, according to reports, Michail Antonio has been training with the Brentford first team, but the club is not expected to offer him a contract. The player is understood to live very close to Brentford's training ground and has been given the opportunity to train with the first team. Now, interestingly, today's game, which is the 25th of October, we saw Brentford versus Liverpool, and Michail Antonio was actually sitting in the reserve seat. Normally, you had the bench where you have the regular team players or the match day squad. Then you have the reserve just behind that, and Michail Antonio was seen in that. It has been a long while now since Michail Antonio has last represented Jamaica national team. Let me see if I can find the data on that. But at the stand, the forward position is not necessarily a position that Jamaica is suffering from. But certainly, it's quite interesting that we are seeing less and less of Michail Antonio, especially the fact that in this summer, we saw Michail Antonio with the national setup. I thought we saw him for what was that? This Copa America? I think we saw him for was it the Copa America? Let me see if I can find it, people. Should I have this at hand still? No, my apologies. We saw him in the Copa America. Is it the Copa America? Let me just check to be 100%. No, we saw him in the Gold Cup in the summer. We saw him in the Gold Cup. In the last game that we played, we got slapped in the face by Panama. Yeah, we'll get slapped by Panama. He had a few appearances in the Gold Cup. In the 1-0 versus Guatemala, he played 6 minutes. 10 minutes versus Guadeloupe, 90 minutes versus Panama. So these minutes accumulated. But he hasn't played any game before that, prior to that, because at that present moment, that was his return date. Well, kind of early return from the serious incident, or should I say accident, that he had a few months back. But since then, we haven't seen him at all. When he played Bermuda and Trinidad and Tobago, he was on the bench. But for the last set of games, he was not available. So I'm wondering, what really is going on where that is concerned? Because the first qualifiers window, he was on the bench. He was with the team on the bench. But we did not see him. Well, we defeated Bermuda. So maybe that's one of the reasons why I didn't came out. But that would most definitely be one of the better games for him to get a run out versus Bermuda, right? But since then, we haven't seen him. And the big question is, what's the latest updates? What's the situation surrounding Michail Antonio? While all of a sudden just now absent from the team. Last window, we did not see him in the last window. As I'm saying again, we saw him in the Gold Cup. He got minutes. But in the World Cup qualifiers, basically, a couple months later, he didn't play. Which you'd expect that he should be further along in his recovery, in a better condition to play, but he didn't play. And also, the following months after that, which was the October window, we didn't see him again. No one saw him again. So, and you'd expect him to be in better condition again from prior to the Gold Cup, which was, many would say, that would have been an early return. So, could there, this might be a far stretch, but could something be wrong surrounding Michail Antonio where the setup is concerned? Could there? Just could. Could there be an issue? I'm just asking a question here. Because, really and truly, if he was able to represent us in, I think it's June? When the World Cup starts, June or July? I think of June, the end part of June. But in September, he wasn't able to feature. Maybe persons when he was coming in September, maybe the case was that he was just coming to train or probably get fit. But I wouldn't say that that's just basically taking up a spot for another player to step in. Then now, a month or so after that, he was not available for selection. Or, not say he wasn't available, he was not selected. So the November window now would be an eye-opener if something is really happening. Because at this present moment, he is training with Brentford first team. And if he's training with Brentford first team and also featured on the Brentford reserve bench, that must have meant that just maybe, we could see some aspect of. So just maybe, I'm just saying. So this is a really an interesting topic. Maybe a one that maybe, call for some investigative journalism. But I would really love to know why you didn't step foot on the pitch in the September window, and also why we didn't see him, or should I say didn't saw him, in the October window. Now the November window is right around the corner, and the big question mark is, will we see him at any point in time? And if not, is there something wrong? Because I say again, if he was good enough, or should I say far along in his recovery, that he could represent us in June, July, August, September, October, November. 5 months later, with more training, which includes training with senior teams in the Premier League, like first teams in the Premier League, must have meant that 5 months later I should be in better condition to probably touch a field. So I'm just going to leave it there. That's just a question I want to ask. And just maybe, someone might reach out to me in my DM on Instagram or somewhere, or my WhatsApp, or Facebook, or somewhere. Probably see the video and said, here's what happened. Or me get a proper download on the reason why we're not seeing him. But I'm pretty much hopeful to see him. As you know, in regards to the striker setup, it would be the A grade. I did want to touch on Travante Stewart, so let me just do a quick run up on Travante Stewart. Now, Travante Stewart scored today again, and so far for Maccabi Haifa, he has been, well, he's their leading goal scorer. He is also one of the leading goal scorers in the Israel League. Let me just bring that up a little bit. Yeah, touch on that as well today. Maccabi Haifa players stats. Yeah, so he's the leading goal scorer for Maccabi Haifa. Is also the highest in regards to match ratings. Whereas numbers are concerned, it's actually looking really good. And also in the league, generally, in the league, it's most definitely a good look where the league is concerned. So I'm just going to get the details surrounding the league. So we can get the point standing for that. Not the point standing, but the player stats for the league. So he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's actually joint fifth, and the leading goal scorer in the Israel Premier League. So interesting data. Let's see if he can keep that form up presently, and let's see if he might see himself in contention for the November window. It would be good to see that. We want players who are in form and players who are actually scoring goals. Nevertheless, Big up on yourself, people. Smash like button. As I said, the big question is, will we see Michail Antonio in the November window? And if not, what's the reason why we're not seeing him at the present moment? And also, Trivante Stewart continues with the high goal scoring form that he's on right now. And let's see if we can keep that up going into the World Cup qualifiers, the final set of World Cup qualifiers in November. So big up on yourself, people. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys again. Until next time, MG Sports TV. We're out. God bless. Boom. Outside.